Hi, everyone. Welcome to Michelle on the Money. We are looking at the big stories impacting your wallet in the bi-state, from business to consumer news. And we are starting with a holiday headache as Amazon workers across the country are on strike. And as this strike goes on, we know that a Senate investigation is shining a light on what it's calling a, quote, deeply troubling pattern of injuries at Amazon warehouses. It is a 159-page report. It includes testimonies from nearly 500 current and former Amazon workers all across the country. And here are the main takeaways. First, we know unsafe working conditions are a concern. Workers are reporting severe and chronic pain caused by the same repeated movements each shift. We also know that Senate investigators claim Amazon is, quote, manipulating workplace injury data to portray that its warehouses are safer than they actually are. And then finally, there's this issue of insufficient medical care. Amazon is allegedly discouraging injured workers from receiving outside care. Now, Amazon has responded to this investigation, saying that the report is, quote, wrong on the facts and features selective, outdated information that lacks context and isn't grounded in reality. Over the weekend, workers at 2 New York Amazon facilities voted to strike, citing safety as their key concern, and that has since moved on all across the country. Right now, the St. Louis County Senior Property Tax Freeze is no longer in jeopardy after County Council approved the budget. So the concern here was over the in-person application process. The company needed more money by Thursday, and the budget to fund the program was passed on Tuesday. Well, 2 schools in the St. Louis area are now under a microscope after 2 audits were released. Now, the most recent one comes from the Missouri auditor looking into the Francis Howell School District. This report shows that the cost of the district's newest high school, Francis Howell North, was misleading. So you can take a look on the screen there. It was supposed to cost $86 million. It ended up totaling nearly double that at $164 million. The audit also found safety drills did not meet policy at 22 of 23 schools. This ranges from intruder and fire drills. Also, a poor rating means the district has to significantly improve its operations and also require management's immediate attention. Now, the school district did respond to the audit, saying, as with any audit, additional opportunities for improvement were identified, and many have already been addressed through new procedures and policies. The district also says there was no significant findings that wasn't communicated to the board of the community, procedures, I should say, and policies. Right now, St. Louis public schools have all frozen employee credit cards. So the district ordered a temporary freeze after a recent audit showed more than $1.5 million in charges were made by employees in the district. Now, under former Superintendent Dr. Keisha Scarlett, staffers used district money for flights, hotels, restaurants, DoorDash, and even Bath and Body Works. The credit freeze is one of the Missouri auditor's recommendations to get the district back on track. There is a federal investigation into a strategy using AI that really could impact your wallet. So it uses personal data to decide how much you pay. 5 on Your Side's Paula Vassan asked the FTC how regulators are going to protect consumers.
Most people don't realize how much of their personal information is collected when they shop online or even in stores. And now, with artificial intelligence, that data may be used against them in a practice called surveillance pricing.
Have you ever heard of this?
I just heard of it just now.
How do you feel that different people are charged different prices for the same thing?
It's kind of crazy, honestly.
We spoke with people at a Brentwood shopping center to see how they feel about this high-tech pricing strategy.
It feels like an invasion of privacy.
It kind of makes me think a bit of Big Brother.
But it's happening online, and now a federal investigation is underway into surveillance pricing. It's a controversial practice where AI and personal data, like browsing habits, location, even gender, determine how much you pay.
There's really a risk here.
For answers, we went straight to Stephanie Wynn, Chief Technologist at the Federal Trade Commission. She's part of a team probing into how companies might use AI to assign personalized prices. Right now, the government is collecting information from major companies, including MasterCard, McKinsey, and JP Morgan, looking into how consumer data impacts their pricing algorithms. A MasterCard spokesperson told us they're cooperating, saying we do not provide surveillance pricing services.
We're seeing a lot of software vendors or consultancies who are starting to offer to help companies implement that data-driven pricing.
Unlike dynamic pricing, which adjusts prices based on supply and demand, surveillance pricing could mean you pay more than someone else for the same product.
And we want to make sure that surveillance pricing isn't resulting in harm to certain communities or to certain individuals.
Researchers have been sounding the alarm for years. In 2015, a ProPublica study revealed that a test prep company charged higher prices to Asian Americans based on zip codes. Now, AI could make pricing discrimination even harder to detect.
We don't want people to be charged based on their race or their gender.
Shoppers we spoke with call it a hidden threat and a clear sign of technology crossing the line.
We should have more information in general to understand how to prevent it.
So what can you do? Experts suggest reviewing your app permissions, but let's face it, most of us don't have time to dig through the fine print. That's why the FTC is stepping in. Their investigation is still ongoing with no clear timeline, but they're vowing to hold companies accountable. For the I-Team, Paula Bassan, 5 on your side.
Well, let's turn now to something happening at Starbucks, because new parents who work at Starbucks will get more time to be with their new baby. Starting in March, birth parents will get 3 times the paid parental leave, which is 18 weeks off. Employees who become parents through adoption or foster placement will now get up to 12 weeks of parental leave. Also, a new way to shop is getting even more popular. A brand new report shows that people spent nearly $1 billion using Buy Now, Pay Later on Cyber Monday. That was a record amount for a single day, by the way. Some people are turning to this plan to avoid accumulating massive credit card debt. But experts, they always want to caution us that while these services can offer some flexibility, of course, they can also carry some financial risks, especially if consumers miss paying back what they owe. This year, consumers cut back on their restaurant visits, but some big chains actually walked away winners, according to a survey from Numerator. Value meals were very big winners for consumers, with McDonald's rolling out that $5 combo meal. But overall, diners wanted less fast food. Taco Bell was a fast food winner, with most surveyed saying that the chain's services were more affordable than groceries. And fast casual chains spiked near the end of the year, with Chipotle seeing higher traffic. Casual dining spots like Red Lobster and Applebee's were not fan favorites this year. This morning, a popular children's speaker is being recalled for the second time this year because of fire and burn hazards. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the lithium-ion battery in these Yodo mini speakers can overheat and catch fire. The speakers were previously recalled in April. Now, there haven't been any injuries reported, but if you've got one, stop using the speaker right away and contact Yodo for a free battery replacement kit. Lithium-ion batteries should not be thrown in the trash and should be disposed of in accordance with the local ordinances. So make sure you check those out. New safety measures coming to cars. Starting in September of 2027, all new passenger vehicles in the U.S. will have to sound a warning if rear seat passengers don't buckle up. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration finalized the rule this week. It also is going to require longer warnings when front seat belts are not fastened. Of course, you know this, it is scammer season, and many people are getting texts claiming to be from Apple, asking them to verify a payment. Well, many have taken to Apple's official discussion forums asking if this is real. Stephanie Haney verifies for us.
We've all gotten used to receiving alerts about transactions from our banks and credit card companies, but what about places we shop? I recently received these 3 nearly identical text messages on the same day but hours apart, claiming to be an attempt to verify a transaction for $143.95 from Apple's billing department. So let's verify. Are these text messages that claim to be from Apple trying to confirm a transaction legitimate? Our sources are the text messages themselves, an internet search of the phone numbers included in the texts, Apple community discussion forums, and advice posted on Apple's support page. First, let's look at the text messages themselves. What's interesting here is they each include a link to the legitimate Apple billing support website. I know this because I looked it up independently, and the URL in the text matches the one from the official Apple billing support site. But if we look closely at the texts, we see each one directs me to call a number to supposedly verify this transaction, not go to that official website. And the number I'm being told to call in each text message is different. In addition to this, the number each of these 3 text messages was sent from is different. When I try to look up all of these different phone numbers, both the numbers I'm being told to call and the numbers the messages came from, none of them are associated with any official Apple departments. I also checked the Apple Community Discussion section of the official Apple website, where there were several posts about people receiving a very similar message claiming to verify a transaction for the exact same amount of $143.95. So we can verify. Text messages that claim to be from Apple trying to confirm a transaction are not legitimate. This is a phishing scam meant to trick you into giving out your personal information. Apple's official support website includes this advice: don't answer suspicious phone calls or messages claiming to be from Apple. Instead, contact Apple directly through our official support channels. So don't click on any links in these text messages if you get one. You can find the right links online at support.apple.com. With your Verify, I'm Stephanie Haney.
All right, there you have it. Do you have something that you would like for us to verify? You can send us an email to verify@kstk.com. All right, letting your kids call Santa can be a really magical experience. A lot of parents do this, but scammers are hoping to take advantage of the holiday fun. So if you search your phone's app store right now, there are plenty of apps that let you call Kris Kringle, or you can also track his sleigh as well. But there's a warning. There are just a few things that you're going to want to check before handing your child your phone. So make sure that they can't make any in-app purchases, leaving you with a surprise on your next credit card bill. Also, some apps might ask for a photo of your child. Don't let them do that. And then finally, check the reviews, because a lot of free apps actually contain malware. Now, are you looking for a place to holiday shop on a budget? This morning, a Friends-themed resale shop in House Springs is offering discounts on Christmas merchandise. Right now, all Christmas merchandise is half price at Central Perk Resale Shop. The inside will remind you of the Friends coffee shop, but you're going to find used clothing, home appliances, furniture, and then so much more. Lots of decor there as well. And then get this is the top selling beer in England, and now some people are worried that Guinness has become so popular, pub owners may face a shortage. Analysts say young people and more women are buying the stout. Social media has also played a role here, because Guinness is getting a boost from influencers on TikTok. Its parent company has told pub owners it is setting limits on Guinness orders to ensure that there is enough to go around through the holidays. Imagine that. That's going to do it for our top consumer stories of the week. Thanks so much for joining us for Michelle on the Money. And for more money stories like these, be sure to join me every day on Today in St. Louis at 6 a.m. In the meantime, we're going to see you again next weekend right here on the 5+ app.